So we're going to talk about introductions, and to continue on with our restaurant analogy, introductions are like free samples. When a customer can't decide whether or not to buy a food item, the store sometimes gives a free sample to persuade them. Restaurants and business owners know that sometimes you have to hook the buyer with a little taste so that they will crave even more. Introduction paragraphs are like those free samples. They hook the reader and get them addicted for more. It's not just about having a great opening line. You also need to convince the reader to keep going. A free bite of ice cream is always also accurate. It's the exact same ingredients that the full serving has, just a smaller dose of it. This way, the reader gets a tiny preview to make them continue on and read your essay. The thesis statement provided in the intro paragraph will be fully proven on in the essay, and your goal is to tempt a reader to read on and see how you will pull it off. So let's go over the recipe for a good introduction. So the first thing is the mix sense or the hook. So seize my taste buds' attention with an interesting fact or question. Next part is the ice cream, the context or the reasons. This is the majority of your introduction paragraph and what holds it all together. Provide any context I will need to understand what you're writing about and why, and or preview your main points you're going to be talking about. The last part is the spoon or the thesis statement. Just like a spoon actually delivers a message, the important stuff to your mouth, the food, a thesis statement carries the main message to your readers. Okay, so let's go over some different types of hooks. First one is a startling statement, and you can look at the example for that one. Next one is an anecdote or scenario. And the next one is a quote. And if you need any more time to read any of these examples, just pause the video and then press play once you've read all the examples. Okay, next one is a rhetorical question. And with a quote and rhetorical question, you want to make sure that you don't overuse those two because a lot of people use those, especially the quote. And you want to make sure that the quote is something that matches your essay. So try not to use the quote or the rhetorical question unless you feel like that's the most effective way to hook your reader into your essay. Next is a statistic. The next one is an analogy. An analogy is usually one of the best ones to choose because it sets up an example between two things for us and it gives us something to think about why we are reading your essay. And then the last one is amusing. Okay, so go on to YouTube, find this video, Writing Grabby Intro Sentences by Shmoop, and then come back to this video and we'll continue on talking about introductions. Okay, so some words of caution. Don't give away too much for free. Introductions that are too long lose our attention, and they are also probably stating too much info that could be saved for a body paragraph later. And don't hand us the wrong flavor. If I want chocolate ice cream, don't hand me a blueberry. Make sure your intro actually previews what the essay will be about and that they match. Okay, so the following are going to be some examples. So if you want to read through the examples, press pause, read the example, and then press play whenever you're done reading. Okay, go on to YouTube, find this video, What Not to Do in an Introduction by Shmoop, and then come back to this video. Okay, now you're going to write your own introduction paragraph and have your partner look over it, give you feedback, make sure you included all of your ingredients, and also that you go by the words of caution and look at what not to do. Also give your partner some feedback about their hook. Try to brainstorm some possible hooks for them and with them, and then choose the one that you think is best fitting for your paper.